Hey y'all. Oh, interesting stuff.
You will own nothing and be happy. The price of homes will be so expensive that you can't afford a home. And this is where you will end up at. A true 15-minute city with thousands of people on top of each other.
I'm gonna say this one time only. If I catch you vandalizing a flop camera, I'm suddenly gonna catch amnesia and go blind. Cause I didn't see shit and I don't know nothing.
Y'all, I'm being so for real. Are y'all not terrified of the way that the world is going? Like, I'm being actually so for real.
I feel like everybody is having a hard time right now, like even the stable people. I personally am having like an identity existential crisis, but even my stable friends are like shutting down their Instagrams, like closing down their Facebooks, even if it's just for a month. I know stable people who are like losing their minds at night. Finances, government, data centers, AI, like the future. I think we're actually all collectively freaking out. Am I alone with that?
Okay, you guys, I just got a Camry XSE and it's the Premium Plus, and I'm over the screen telling me what to do, okay? It keeps telling me to sit up. It can't see my face. I'm like, what? I'm sitting here. It keeps telling me to pay attention. I'm paying attention. Like, what is going on? Stop telling me what to do. How do I turn this off? Please. It's driving me nuts.
I pass 8 flock cameras on the way to my kid's school. 3 gas stations, 2 stoplights, but 8 flock cameras. I live in a rural county. I'm passing more surveillance cameras than I am businesses. That's insane. So yeah, surveillance state, coming to a rural county near you.
People are really starting to describe everyday life here in America as dystopian. That is a term that used to be for science fiction movies or novels, but now it's a term that people are using to describe what they feel is going on in this country.
So yeah, I'm the first one to have a mini data center in my house. They're paying me monthly to house this data center. Pretty sweet. So if you can't beat them, work with them, I guess, you know. So anyways, this data center went in a couple days ago, and it's producing all of your Google results in the 100 square mile from this location. So if you were to type in, hey Google, what's the weather like tomorrow? I could modify this system to say, don't worry about it, it's gonna be 500 degrees, you won't make it out alive. That's kind of the kind of thing that this is producing. So they're paying me money to have this here, information's coming in, and I'm able to send the information out. Pretty wild. And if you want one of these in your house, let me know. They'll pay you to put one in.
I'm gonna need somebody in the federal or local government, somebody says, tell me when the Americans said, hey, we want data centers and we want monitored at all times. We want vehicles that can just shut themselves off whenever they feel it. I'm pretty sure none of us have said, oh, please, watch my every movement, Daddy. For my sake. We don't want you data centers. We don't want you AI. We don't want you flock cameras. We don't want you
Hey Nick.
AI
Nikki.
detection vehicles. We want none of this shit.
I make videos talking about these driver monitors and how it's constantly watching you when you drive the car, but there is something that's very creepy about them. In real life, this is all that you see, is this kind of little black rectangle above the steering wheel. But if you have the right frame rate set on your camera, you can see the 2 red dots that are tracking your eyes. So you have these invisible red eyes that are constantly staring at you.
This is breaking news. Starting in 2027, refrigerator manufacturers will no longer sell refrigerators with automatic ice makers unless you have a subscription fee. That's right, starting in 2027, for 1 year you can buy a refrigerator and it will make ice for you if you want. But after that 12-month period is over, you're gonna have to pay a $29.95 subscription fee in order to get ice made in your refrigerator. It's just every year, at the beginning of the year, you will pay a $29.95 fee, and your refrigerator will be allowed to continue to make ice. Should you fail to pay that fee, of course, you have no subscription, they will shut off your ice making capabilities, and you will just have a regular refrigerator.
If you were raised in the 80s and 90s, how are you adjusting now? In 2026, how do you feel? I'm not even gonna lie, some days I'm not well. To think about then and think about now and know that it'll never be the same, it's something. I can remember the late 80s going to the movie theater, me, my mama, my cousins, my aunt, 10, 11 of us, right? One of them pull out a $50 bill, hand it to the cashier. We got popcorn, drinks, the movie tickets, everything, and they get change back. We in the theater fighting over the cup holder and the armrest because we got so much candy and chips and hot dogs in our hands. Happy, smiling. I took my 15-year-old daughter to the movies today, just me and her. Got the tickets, right? Mind you, it's a 2:30 show. It ain't even late at night. Tickets. Small popcorn for her, small for me, small drink, $54.86. I don't even have no more words. I can't even.
It isn't a joke. They literally want to put a mini data center on everybody's home. And the way that they're selling this to people is ways. You'll only have to pay one flat fee, about $150 a month for Wi-Fi and electricity. Now, I know, we all think we wouldn't be dumb enough to do that, would we? Except the fact that everybody's electricity cost is going up and up and up and up and up and up and up because of the data centers being put in everywhere. So listen to this.
With JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley on a financing package for a data center in El Paso, Texas, to the tune of $13 billion, mostly in debt. Amid continued demand for data centers, there has been increasing pushback from local communities about these facilities, but one company is offering a potential solution, and Diana Olick has the story in this week's Property Play. Hi, Di.
Hey Morgan, yeah, it's an unlikely partnership. Span, which is a startup that makes smart electrical home panels, is teaming up with NVIDIA and Pulte Group, a major U.S. home builder. Span is now making small, fractional data centers, they call them nodes, that can be put on the side of residential homes. So the idea is to take advantage of unused electrical capacity on local grids, which the Span smart panels find. Now, a network of these nodes talking to each other across the country is the equivalent of a mid-sized traditional data center. So these could actually negate the need to build as many of those huge data centers. Hyperscalers and AI cloud providers just tap into the node network like a regular data center. Now, Span collaborated with NVIDIA using its technology in the system. Span claims it can install 8,000 of these units about 6 times faster and at 5 times lower cost than the construction of a typical centralized 100 megawatt data center of the same size. Now, Pulte Homes is in on the early testing phase, looking at the capabilities and economics of these nodes, which have already been deployed in a handful of communities. Okay, so why would a homeowner want this?
So
well, because they would just have to pay one flat fee for electricity and Wi-Fi, which Span said would be roughly about $150 total. So a lot less than probably your usual bill. For much more on this story in the latest Property Play podcast with the CEO of a company looking to...
Hey, so did you guys notice that literally nobody cares about anything anymore? Like actually, like nobody cares. Apparently, they came out on the news and they said that the aliens are here, they're among us. I don't know what, I don't follow the news. It's just somebody came on this app and said, hey, did you guys know that the news said that there's aliens and blah, 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 I don't know what. And nobody cares? There's a massive explosion threat out in Garden Grove, California, and nobody cares. People are still going to Disneyland like, oh, cool. If we die, we die. I don't know, it's just like people are just sick and tired of all the lies, like they've been lying to us, or, you know, I don't know what. It's just like we've had enough to hear, and at this point we're just like, it is what it is, whatever happens, happens. Like, nothing is a shock to us anymore, or what? Like, aliens can come to our front door. And we'll just open the door and be like, oh, hey, what's up? You wanna come inside for dinner?
Hey, y'all, what's up?
I want to ask you something. It's kind of strange. See, I'm at Home Depot right now, right? This is Home Depot. This is Home Depot. Why would the government want to put a flock camera at every car going in and out of Home Depot? What the hell did they get out of that? Makes no sense why they want to read the plates on cars going in and out of Home Depot.
Exactly.
Tell me why.
So I just learned that they replaced 30 dirty jobs with AI, and nobody's really even talking about it. Everybody thought it would be the code writers, the spreadsheet guys, that would be replaced with AI first. Nope, wrong. Heidelberg Building Materials, they produce 60 to 70% of all the cement used in Maryland alone. Their large quarry in Union Bridge, Maryland, just bought 30 autonomous dump trucks. Those are quarry trucks, completely autonomous. They're gonna drive, dump, load, unload, everything, completely AI controlled.
So option A is a driver, $70,000 to $80,000 a year, CDL, benefits package, supports a family, has needs, is a human. Or AI truck, none of the above, doesn't even ask for a break. That money goes straight up to the CEOs, the boardroom, never comes back in the form of a job or raises. Pay attention, y'all, this is pretty big.
This is what Walmart's new AI system says when you call to ask for help.
This call and your voice may be recorded for quality or other business purposes, including fraud prevention.
Your call and your voice will be recorded for quality or other business purposes, including fraud prevention. I like how they put that at the end to kind of make your brain feel like it's a safe thing. It's not, because I looked into what other business purposes could be, and it is not limited to AI training, voice cloning data sets, emotion tracking, behavioral analysis, customer profiling, speech recognition systems. What ethically could you use that for?
So, this is wild. Google just announced that they're no longer going to be having a search bar. That they're going to be completely relying on AI to be able to come up with what you want to be looking at already. Which sucks for businesses, including myself, because you'll never be able to click on my website because there's no longer going to be the Google links. How does that work?
Explain to me what this is. I was just driving and I noticed this camera staring at me. The camera poking on both sides. You're not slick. What is this, Arizona? Explain to me. There's a cable going on the backside, runs up here and just goes off in the distance.
This camera is kind of out of the way, so it makes it easier to try to reverse engineer if any signals are coming from it. This is the Bluetooth that is in our environment currently. This is the Wi-Fi. Not seeing anything that stands out. Again, this camera is at the place at the entrance to a park, so it's only capturing people coming into a park. It appears to be one of the newer modules, or models. A lot of stuff on the back of the solar panel, so just seeing if we can detect any signal coming from it. Again, nothing that's standing out. Here's all the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. We're using a stock Raspberry Pi and a Sophia Android node to monitor it. Again, nothing obvious coming off of it.
Do you want to know why they want to make society cashless? If you do something they don't like, they can freeze your card and you won't be able to buy anything.
Hey, so everyone has lost their mind. Apartment hunting, housing market, renting, whatever it is, you've absolutely lost your mind. So as I sit here apartment hunting, here in Los Angeles, would you believe that I came across this place, $2,500 a month, okay, 1 bedroom, no utilities included, you have to pay for your parking, bare bones, 3 times the rent, $650 minimum credit, okay? I scroll down to the bottom and I see that in order for you to access your unit that you are paying $2,500 for, okay, you must subscribe to a monthly membership to use your key fob. If you don't, you will not be able to access your unit that you pay $2,500 for. What are we doing? I know why people are burning down warehouses, and I know why people are running up on CEOs and sending them back to their maker. People are tired, and it is only going to get worse. This is quite literally something that the average American will not just work their way out of. They will not skip a latte out of. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? What are we doing?
Nobody was excited about Memorial Day, and nobody is excited about the 4th of July. It's the 250th anniversary of this country existing via the Declaration of Independence. Like, does nobody else notice the lack of excitement, the lack of anticipation, the lack of care? We're in a bad place, people. You feel it. I feel it. Everyone feels it. And the people that are just wealthy enough to not feel it have even started to understand that they're about to start feeling it. We've hit the point of no return, you know? And it's one of those things like, I'm very encouraged by the amount of people that say they want to do something and organize and all those things, and I really hope you do. But like, I think most people have kind of just devolved to the place of, I'm just going to sit back and see what happens from this point on, you know? And that's a depressing place to be, you know, as a people. But I feel like that's where we all are. Like, let's just sit back and relax and see where the log flume takes us. I don't know, man. Things have gotten so impossibly difficult. It really shouldn't be this way.
I swear every millennial in 2026 is just totally ready to pull a complete 180, because we basically grew up in an era where we watched innovation make life genuinely better every single year. Like, think when cell phones first came out, or iPods, digital cameras, smartphones, when there was literally an app for everything. Like, we were so incredibly pumped, and then it just turned. Everything became a subscription, social media became an algorithm, a sandwich costs $20 for whatever reason, and you can't go 24 hours without some sort of once-in-a-lifetime event coming directly to your phone, which is now, by the way, a 7-inch supercomputer that was designed to command our attention 24/7. Where I'm getting at, we were sold on the idea that technology was going to bring convenience and make things more affordable, and it just snowballed into whatever era we are currently living in today. And now, almost every millennial I know would basically gladly trade all of it for a job as a park ranger who only needs a flip phone, who lives out west in like a tiny town with this cute little diner on the corner where the waitress knows their order.
I think I speak for all millennials when I say we're tired in a way that feels permanent. You know, it's not like I stayed up too late type of tired, or I just need a good night's rest tired. No, it's more like I have 507 open tabs in my brain that I can't close type of tired. And I think it's because we've been conditioned to like always be on. You know, there's always something we forgot, or need to schedule, or need to buy, or need to remember next week. In the rare instance that we do get a second to relax, our brains are still working. They're still running the background process, like updating the anxiety or installing new stress for absolutely no reason. But the craziest part is that like we've gotten so used to it, we don't even talk about it anymore. You know, you'll ask somebody, how you doing? They'll say, oh, tired. And everybody just kind of nods along like, yep, that checks out. We don't even ask why. You know, because at this point, being tired isn't like an occasional feeling. It's become part of our operating system. Like, honestly, I don't think millennials need more sleep. I think we all just need one day where absolutely nothing requires our attention.
Now, I'm no theorist, but don't you think it's a little bit strange at the same time that they announced 2027 new vehicles are going to be scanning your eyeballs off with AI, and there's going to be sensors in the steering wheel. You got to put both your hands on the wheel at the same time. This is already happening in the UK, otherwise your car will shut off. Don't you think it's a little bit strange that while that's happening, a spontaneous oil shortage is happening, which is making them add more ethanol, or this is the excuse to add more ethanol to the gas, which is horrible for old engines. And then all these junkyards are burning up. Have you not heard? There's been like a bunch of big giant junkyards that have caught on fire randomly. So all the parts, all the old parts for the old cars burning up. The new gas could significantly shorten the lifespan of the old vehicles that are on the road. So all the people who said, you know, I'm just going to keep driving my 1990, whatever, like, I agree, that's cool, but you're going to have to figure out how to get ethanol out of the freaking gas, otherwise it's going to prematurely gimp your engine. Furthermore, at the same time that all that is happening, people think you're going to be able to just like jailbreak your car and turn off all that AI crap, not knowing a lot has changed in the last few years for the automotive industry. If you alter something in your computer system of these new vehicles, it immediately sends a tampering notice to like the cloud of the manufacturer of your vehicle, and can either stop your insurance or disable the car if you've affected it in a certain type of way. Look it up, dude. They've passed all these laws. So the walls are closing in on, I guess, controlling our modes of transport. Eventually, I think they all want us in a smart bus anyway, hooked up to the AI railroad. I mean, really, this is what's coming around the corner. So why aren't I scared? Because that's a bit of a scary thought, right? Being ruled by AI, all the old cars are gone, we're in universal basic income, it's a total shitstorm. Because I have true, full, unwavering faith that in the end, the good guys win. I do think it's going to get weirder between now and then, 100%. That's not a, you know, but something strange is seriously kicking off, man.
Whatever you do not buy a new car. Do not buy a new car. You need to listen to this now. So starting in 2027, every single vehicle is going to be equipped with this AI technology that's going to be able to read your face, your eyes, and listen to every conversation you have. They just passed a law, and it's going to start in 2027. Doesn't matter, you know, what vehicle you're looking at, this is going to have this technology in it. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to read your face and scan your face, and if you happen to look like you are looking away from the road, or if it may think that you're impaired, it's going to shut the car off immediately. Or it will not allow your car to start, for one. But if you are driving and let's say you look away from the windshield for 5 seconds, you're looking at, you know, scenery or whatever the case may be, it's going to immediately deactivate your vehicle, and it's not going to restart it for X amount of hours. It's also going to have technology that listens to your conversation. Now, if you're having a conversation that may be a little controversial to what the law may think, it's going to automatically alert the police that this conversation is, let's say, of high alert. What it's then going to do is send that little conversation, that script, immediately to the local police department, whatever police department is closest to the vehicle, and the police are then going to go through that footage, and they could be knocking on your door. So I think that this is absolutely ridiculous, very scary, extremely controlling. I mean, if you think that what they're doing now is controlling, this is hitting another level. Therefore, if you're, you know, looking to buy a new vehicle in the next 6 to 10 months, I highly recommend you look at vehicles 26 and below, because I mean, you're riding a really thin line if you purchase a vehicle in 2027. It's going to make the market, I believe, the car market tank. This is extremely scary, extremely intrusive, and like I said, the bill has already been passed by Trump. So just another thing that we have to look out for. Our country is becoming controlling. They are controlling every part of our entire existence, and they're doing it so quickly. I mean, they're just hitting all areas of our life, and they're taking away every ounce of freedom that we have. Chime in, let me know your thoughts on this.
Flock cameras are not just crime deterrents. They are watching you, they are logging you, even if you do not commit a crime. They have systems that log your license plate, your vehicle details, the time that you were there, the location. They can catalog your make, model, color, bumper stickers, roof racks, even visible damage to your vehicle down to scratches and dents. And then they store that data in searchable databases used by police and other 3-letter agencies across the country. That is not just crime prevention. That is mass surveillance being marketed to us as safety. Well, don't do crime and you'll be okay. You are thinking way too small. You are quite literally still inside of the box. You trust the government with a permanent surveillance network? Freedom means being left alone by the state unless you have actually done something, not being tracked just in case. And something that absolutely baffles me is the fact that the CEO of Flock Safety has already compared people exposing the camera locations and criticizing these systems to terrorists and Antifa. That should alarm everyone. That is how civil liberties get eroded. First by labeling dissent as dangerous, then by expanding surveillance in the name of security, right? And before I show you what a flock looks like, let's talk about my own city. If these cameras are just harmless crime deterrents, why is Louisville, Kentucky fighting so hard to keep their location secret? Louisville has deployed over 200 plus city-owned flock cameras, and police also have access to hundreds more shared cameras from businesses, HOAs, universities, other entities across Jefferson County. Around 600 cameras total that the government can tap into. Metro officials and LMPD have refused to publicly disclose exact camera locations. Earlier this month, Louisville Metro Council voted down a proposal that would have required the city to publish these locations online. They love to say, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't care. Okay, uno reverse. If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you care that we want to know where they are? Why are you hiding the cameras? I live in the West End, so I'm actually going to walk you to the flock closest to my neighborhood so that you can see what mass surveillance looks like right here at home. Okay, so this is a flock camera at the corner of Dixie Highway and Dumenil Street in Louisville. Most people drive past this and never think twice, and that's the point. Surveillance works best when it feels normal and when it feels invisible. We're told not to worry about facial recognition or expanded tracking, but we have no proof that they won't do that or that they haven't already. The issue isn't just what they claim that the cameras do today, it's what these systems can become once the infrastructure is already everywhere. Flock cameras reduce crime, police reduce crime. You know what else guarantees reduced crime? Paying people enough to survive instead of poverty wages. Housing and rent prices that don't keep people paycheck to paycheck. Healthcare that people can actually afford. Education that creates opportunity for young adults. Treatment for addiction and mental health. The kind of stability that keeps people from desperation in the first place. They would rather monitor poverty than end it. Oh, well, there's no expectation of privacy in public. Being seen in public is not the same as having your movements logged, stored, analyzed, retraced, all to be sold to a private surveillance network. We recognize that persistent tracking can become harassment or stalking when individuals do it. So why is mass automated tracking suddenly acceptable when these corporations and the government does it? It's weird.
I've seen a few posts about this and I wanted to comment on it because I have a personal experience with it. It's not something that's happening in the future, it's something that's happening now. I rented a car in Europe, and as the woman handed me the car keys, she said, "This is a brand new car," and she was like super excited about it. She was like, "It's 2026, It's a brand new car. And I was like, awesome. No one's had a chance to like fart or smoke in it. This will be great. And I had driven it for a day or two, and I was getting on a highway. It was a 6-lane highway. And all of a sudden the gas stopped working. And I'm pressing on the gas, I can't get the car to go. So the car is dinging and it's making all this noise and I can't figure out what's going on. And I look at the dashboard and in English it says, sit up straight, we can't find your eyes. Why do you need to see my eyes? That was my first thought. And I'm short, so I sit low in the seat, and I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd been driving a while and I'd kind of slouched down more instead of sitting upright. And when I sat upright, the gas would work once again. And so I pressed the gas, but I was slowing down enough that it was gonna cause a traffic hazard. And the thing is, it knew I wasn't asleep because I was pressing on the gas. So it knew I was awake. It just wanted to see my eyes. So once I sat upright and leaned forward, I guess it did facial recognition. And then it says, may I send you these results to a third party? To which I said, no, you may not. No. Who is the third party? Who, first of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to? And lastly, it is so dangerous. There are so many scenarios where losing control of the gas can put a car in a very dangerous situation. Like, what if I was pulling out in front of a semi-truck? What if I was going over a railroad track? And the absolute worst part is the argument for this is to combat sleepy drivers. And the truth is, if you fall asleep while you're driving, you're not going to be pushing down all the way on the gas. You're going to let up. You're going to relax. No one keeps their foot pointed while they're asleep. And if they say, well, what about cruise control? Then just take off cruise control. Disable cruise control in cars. That's the solution. Not, I need to see your eyeballs for the car to work. There's so many dangerous implications for this. But even if you're using it just for the good implication, you know, sleepy drivers, we need to see eyeballs at all times, it's still wrong. It's still a stupid idea.
The more they try to force us to integrate technology into every aspect of our lives, to include our vehicles so that they can monitor us and the way that we drive, the more analog I want to go with everything. And I'm absolutely here for it. I'm ready for it as a Gen Xer. Take me back. Let's go.
You just don't need your nonsense. No, thank you.
So we're currently awaiting the rollout of a terrifying upgrade to surveillance tech in cities across the United States. Lock Safety, the police technology company, is rolling out a new and troubling product, the detection of human distress via audio. Lock has been promoting Raven, their version of acoustic gunshot detection. These devices capture sounds in public places and use machine learning to try to identify gunshots and then alert police. We say try because these mics often misinterpret car backfires and fireworks as gunshots. Now these microphones apparently will be alerting police whenever they detect what machine believes to be human voice in distress. It's unclear how this tech even works. It's also unclear how these devices will be interacting with state eavesdropping laws that limit listening to or recording the private conversations that often occur in public places. Gunshot detection technology is dangerous enough as it is. Police showing up to alerts they think are gunfire, only to find children playing with fireworks, is a recipe for innocent people to get hurt. And this is not a hypothetical. In Chicago, a child really was shot at by police who thought they were responding to a shooting thanks to a shot spotter alert. Introducing a new feature that allows these Raven microphones all over cities to begin listening to human voices in distress is likely to open up a whole new can of legal, civil liberties, and even bodily safety consequences. Cities now have one more reason to cancel their flock contracts before this new feature violates civil liberties and puts people in real danger.
So your vehicles will now be spying on you, and not just spying on you with video and audio surveillance, but they're going to be sending out information to local police departments. They're going to be sending out information to your car insurance company, telling them how fast you drive, how fast you go around corners or how often you hit the brakes heavily so that they can raise the rates of your insurance. And if you don't believe that, here's just a few proofs. In 2021, the U.S. government passed legislation that by 2027, all of this information, all of this technology must be in all vehicles sold in America. And as you can see over here, it is already being done, it's already being implemented. Folks, you're now being spied on by your own car. Welcome to America. Late stage capitalism at its finest. And you know how these companies are working together? Because they're all owned by the same three companies. The car companies and the insurance companies and the tech companies are all owned by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. You're welcome.
If you all have heard about flock cameras, I'm going to show you. This is a flock camera. You can see the little flock logo, the solar panel thing. That is what a flock camera looks like. And here it is from a different angle. These things are reading license plates and recording the data and sending it to your local police department. So if you see anything like this popping up, there's another one over there, there's one right down the street here, just know those are flock cameras.
Many new cars have this feature that I'm going to call the Eye of Sauron. This is a driver monitor system that watches your eyes to see what you're looking at if you're paying attention, all of that. To make things even worse, you can't truly fully disable this. You can disable some of the warnings, but it'll always be watching you. You pair that with the fact that the automakers also have your GPS coordinates at all times. And now you can see why I call this the Eye of Sauron. They're always watching. And finally, this version is very easy to see, but automakers are looking to maybe put some driver monitors up in this area, hide it in the dash, maybe somewhere in the steering wheel. In the future, you won't be able to tell that your car has it, so maybe it's time to buy an old car.
Of America, do not buy a new car, because starting 2027, every new car in the United States will be
But they
required
putting something in the gas for the old cars to fuck them up.
constant surveillance on the driver.
Just like that Nicolas Cage movie I seen. No cars after Trump were made.
If the vehicle determines that you're a danger on the road, it will turn your car off. So by 2027, the law states, quote, every new passenger vehicle sold in the United States must include technology that constantly monitors the driver via AI, cameras, and sensors, and can automatically shut down or limit the car if the system decides you're not sober or fit to drive. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is creating new federal motor vehicle safety standards requiring, quote, advanced impaired driving prevention technology powered by AI tools and systems. They state that the technology must now passively monitor the driver at all times. If the system detects a problem, it can prevent the car from starting or limited speed and operation while driving. So let's say you're not up and you just decide to close your eyes and stretch. Does it think you're up and it'll stop the vehicle while you're driving? The law states that this is not a remote government kill switch, but the decision happens on board via AI and sensors. So basically, whatever technology they put in there, it's a government kill switch. Now, older cars obviously will be unaffected, but cars 2027 or after will all have this shit. So a lot of people say that this is government overreach, and later on, these tools will be used against the average driver, especially if it taps into your conversations and the government gets a hold of those conversations and finds out what you're talking about politically. Or at least that's the fear coming up in the future. Now you might understand why data centers are going up all over the country, everywhere, because everything you do is going to be monitored coming up here, every single thing.
As always, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about
More than 1 million Americans went to sleep last night in a vehicle, not a shelter.
You guys are wondering why I started living in my car? When I was
for 60 seconds. I'm currently living in my car.
in a blizzard, and I'm in a big ran out of food.
You know, I won't lie to you, this is all very new to me.
After being homeless, living in my car for 5 years because of the out-of-control rent prices and the cost.
So y'all, this is my bed. This is what I sleep in.
More than 1 million Americans went to sleep last night in a vehicle. Not a shelter, not a friend's couch. A car. Parked on a side street, a church lot, or behind a 24-hour store, engine off, windows covered, trying to make sure nobody noticed. And here is the thing that makes this different from what most people assume. Many of them have jobs. Some have kids in school. Others are retired after decades of work. They don't look like the image we have of homelessness. And that is exactly why this crisis keeps growing. Because the people caught inside it look just like everyone else. Today, we're going to walk through exactly what's happening, who it's happening to, and why the systems that were supposed to stop this have failed so completely. Let's start with the number the federal government doesn't talk about much. Every year, the Department of Housing and Urban Development releases a homeless count, a single night snapshot meant to represent the full scale of the problem. But here is what that count actually measures: people in shelters and people visibly sleeping on streets. It does not count the family in the minivan parked 2 blocks from the elementary school. It does not count the man sleeping in his truck outside the warehouse where he works the early shift. It does not count anyone who has decided, deliberately, to stay invisible. And that invisibility is not an accident. Families living in vehicles rotate locations every few nights to avoid being noticed. They choose quieter residential streets. They keep curtains across the windows. They leave before dawn. They do everything possible to look like they belong, because the alternative is a fine, a tow, or something worse. Researchers believe the true number of Americans sleeping in vehicles on any given night is dramatically higher than what official data shows. In California alone, vehicle dwellers make up close to 40% of the unsheltered population in certain areas. School districts across the country are reporting record numbers of students classified as homeless under federal law, and most of them are not in shelters. They are in cars with their parents. This is what the official count misses, and what it misses shapes every policy decision that follows. Now here is the part most people get wrong about this crisis. They assume it's about unemployment, about people who fell completely out of the economy. The data tells a very different story. One of the fastest growing groups living in vehicles is employed, full-time employed. People who wake up in a car, drive to work, put in 8 hours and drive back to a parking lot to sleep. Researchers have a name for them, the working homeless. And the reason they exist is not hard to understand, even if the implications are uncomfortable. Wage growth over the past decade has been modest. Rent prices in cities across the country have jumped 20 to 40% in just a few years. That gap between what workers earn and what landlords charge has become wide enough that having a full-time job no longer guarantees a place to live. Run the numbers yourself. Someone earning $15 an hour, 40 hours a week brings home roughly $31,000 a year before taxes. A one-bedroom apartment in most American cities now costs $1,500 to $2,000 per month. That's $18,000 to $24,000 a year in rent alone, before groceries, before gas, before anything goes wrong. And landlords don't just look at income, they require proof that a tenant earns 3 times the monthly rent. A worker bringing home $2,400 a month cannot qualify for an apartment listed at $900. Not because they're bad with money, because the math simply doesn't work. So they go to work, and they sleep in their vehicle. Some park near the job site. Some pay for a gym membership, not to work out but to shower before their shift. Some have been doing this for months, some much longer. This is what it looks like when wages and housing costs drift so far apart that having a job no longer means having a home. But here is the part of this story that is hardest to sit with. It involves children. More than 1 million students in the United States are classified as homeless under federal law in a single school year. That number has been climbing for years. A significant portion of those kids are not in shelters. They are sleeping in vehicles with their families. Think about what that morning actually looks like. A 9-year-old wakes up in the back seat of a sedan. No kitchen, no bathroom. Her mom drives to the nearest gas station so she can brush her teeth and wash her face before school. Then, she walks through those front doors trying to look like every other kid in the hallway. That night, she does her homework in the parking lot of a 24-hour store because that's where the Wi-Fi reaches. She can't sleep well because a car isn't built for sleeping. She's exhausted, she's anxious, and she is terrified that someone will find out because that is the thing she fears more than almost anything else. Research on childhood housing instability is clear. Chronic instability is tied to lower academic performance, long-term emotional health challenges, and life outcomes that can follow a child well into adulthood, long after the vehicle is gone. And yet these parents park near the school, specifically so their kids can keep attending. They are doing everything they can, holding things together from inside a parking lot. That determination is real, and it doesn't make the situation any less serious. If this is hitting close to home for you, literally or not, drop where you're from in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which cities people are watching this from. So how does a family actually end up there? And how quickly can it happen? Most people assume it's a slow slide, something you'd see coming, something you'd have time to prepare for. Most people are wrong. For a lot of families, the drop from a stable home to sleeping in a vehicle takes less than a month. Here's how it typically unfolds. A family of 4 in Phoenix, 2 working adults, 2 kids, gets a written notice that rent is going up $400 a month starting next lease term. They can't absorb it. They spend 3 weeks looking for something else in their price range. In their area, there's essentially nothing. They fall 1 month behind. The landlord files for eviction. Court costs get added to what they owe. They can't afford a lawyer. The process moves faster than they expected because these processes almost always move faster than people expect. 6 weeks after that notice arrived, they're sleeping in their SUV in a church parking lot, figuring out how to get the kids to school Monday morning. This isn't an edge case. Eviction researchers at Princeton's Eviction Lab have documented millions of eviction filings across the country every single year, and the financial gap that triggers them is often surprisingly small. One missed payment, a few $100s in fees, a process that moves fast for people who can't afford representation. But here's what makes it worse. An eviction on your record doesn't just mean you lost your current home, it means most landlords won't rent to you again. Even a filing, not a completed eviction, just a filing, is enough for most tenant screening systems to automatically reject an application. The family that might have gotten back on their feet, given a little time, finds itself locked out of the rental market entirely. The car becomes the only option left. The speed is what makes it devastating. There's rarely time to form a plan. The window between financial trouble and sleeping in a vehicle is short, and the road back out is long. Now here's something that surprises most people when they hear it. Living in a vehicle is not cheaper than renting a home. For a lot of families, it actually costs more. Researchers call this the poverty penalty, the way that having fewer resources makes nearly everything more expensive. Vehicle living is one of the clearest examples of that in American life. Without a kitchen, families eat fast food, prepared meals, convenience store food. Feeding a family of 4 that way can easily run $60 to $100 a day, several times more than cooking at home would cost. Over a month, that gap alone can exceed what a modest apartment would have cost in some cities. Fuel becomes a survival cost. In summer heat or winter cold, the engine runs for hours just to keep the temperature inside livable. That can add $200 to $400 a month, on top of normal driving. Belongings that don't fit in the car go into a storage unit, $80 to $150 a month. Showers mean a gym membership or a truck stop fee. Laundry means a laundromat. None of this is optional. All of it costs money that could have gone toward a deposit. The Federal Reserve has found that a large portion of American households can't cover an unexpected $400 to $500 expense without borrowing. For families living in vehicles, every expense is expected, recurring and unavoidable, and there's nothing left at the end of the month to build toward getting back inside. Being unhoused makes it more expensive to live. More expensive means harder to save. Harder to save means the trap closes a little tighter every month. So what actually built this trap? Because it didn't appear overnight. Over the past decade, rents have risen far faster than incomes in cities across the country. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition has documented something that deserves more attention than it usually gets. There is not a single state in America where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford.
I'm in the Target parking lot right now. I'm currently eating some buckwheat that I soaked overnight, and I added grapes and a little bit of cinnamon. It's like overnight oats, but not. Oats are a bit more creamy and milky, and buckwheat tastes like the earth, but it has hella anti-cancer properties. I personally love when things taste like the earth and not processed. I know I'm like the minority there, but I love this type of food. As you can see, it was a hair wash day today, which means I need to rinse the shower off of my hair. Otherwise it gets so frizzy and it looks like I stuck my finger into an electrical socket. So let's go ahead and do that. My jug of water. Ooh, that is so cold. I refill my glass jugs at the water fill stations and grocery stores. And this water is so much cleaner than the shower water. Now I can put some coconut oil in it. And just let it air dry.
Please stay for 60 seconds. I'm currently homeless and living in my car. I've been living in my car for about 4 months, and I am back in a position where I don't even have enough money in my bank account to get gas. I would greatly appreciate anyone that would support me or donate. Anything helps. I'll put all of my tipping handles on the screen. I can't do Uber or DoorDash right now just because of safety issues with my car and because I literally don't have any space for groceries or orders within my car. I don't have any space in my trunk or in my back seat or in the passenger seat, so I'm kind of just stuck in this predicament of trying to get a job but also barely hanging on. So again, I would greatly appreciate anyone that sends anything. And yeah, I love you guys and thank you so much. I also have books and music for sale as well as a tip jar on my website, Jacob Green Store. I'll put this on the screen as well, but the thing with that is I can't pay myself out or receive any money from any sort of sales there because I'm homeless, and to open up any sort of bank account, you need proof of residence. So if anyone has any sort of ideas or knowledge about how to get around that, please, please, please let me know. I've been struggling with this for weeks. And I want to be able to, run a successful business and sell these products that I feel can help a lot of people. But I can't, receive any of the money because I don't have a proof of residence because I live in my car. So, yeah, the tipping handles that I put on the screen will work just fine. But if those get capped or ran out, then I do have a website where there's things for sale. but I'm still in the process of trying to open up a bank account, but I keep running into the same problems. So yeah, I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting with the video, and thank you for just being here and supporting me.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car, and I'm going to show you how I get ready for bed when it's cold outside. I think it's supposed to dip down into like the teens tonight, like 19 degrees or something like that. So first order of business is to warm this car up before I get all snug as a bug in my bed. So right now I have the car running with the heater going, and I'll do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I put my privacy curtains up on my front windows. This is what they look like. I don't know if you can see up close, but basically they have little clips that clip in here, and then I tie up here in the middle. And here's what my front windshield cover looks like. It's just one of these little doohickeys. And I always put my pillow up here in the front with me while I'm heating up my car so it gets nice and warm, because I hate sleeping on an ice cold pillow. And I put my back window covers on. I have to get out of the car and do that. They're these little, like, screen type ones. I guess they're like, I don't know, they're breathable. And they just slide over the glass. Gives a better idea of what they look like. They just slide on here. Like so, like that. So it's all warm and toasty now, so I'm gonna hop in the back. Yay! Now I lock my car so nobody can get me. And now I just wrap up in my Magellan low temp sleeping bag. Actually, I use it as a blanket and cover myself and kind of tuck it under. And even though it's going to be frigid, I'm going to be super cozy and comfortable. It's a process, but it's worth it.
You know, I won't lie to you, this is all very new to me. I mean, I've been homeless plenty of times, off and on since the age of 16, but it's just different now that I'm an adult. You know, I don't have any friends, I don't have any family, I don't have anybody, right? So I have no support systems whatsoever. There's a healthcare crisis here in Nova Scotia, so they can't help me, or anyone for that matter. If you think Canada has great healthcare, you've been misinformed. We have terrible, terrible healthcare, but you have to wait a very long time in order to get an appointment. And a lot of people die or get much worse before that appointment. So, yeah, I could go on all day about this.
I've been living in my car for over 70 days now, and I'm in a pickle. I ran out of food. I don't have any gas, so I'm kind of stranded in a parking lot. I've been here for around 4 days now, and I'm a little stressed, but I'm still making it work somehow. I'm trying everything in my character to just not go on the side of the road and beg for money, because I don't know, just something deep down in me is telling me that's not the way to do it. And then the hunger starts to kick in, and your tummy's just rumbling, and then you're just like, man, you start to get really desperate. I'm fucking desperate to get food. I was like, man, I can see why people freaking go to stores and steal. But I don't steal. When I stole as a kid, I did so when I was a kid. I got caught and I was freaking scared, man. I was fucking scared. I never did it again after that. Sorry, Mom, I know you're gonna see this message. But I'm an artist and I'm very freaking creative. So I was like, man, I gotta find a creative way for me to actually get some food because I need some meat. I was eating like bananas and bread for a while because it was super cheap. Did you know bananas, a single banana at Target is 25 cents? And then I got a loaf of bread for like $1.49, which was great. But now it's all gone. So my creative solution was like, okay, there's restaurants around me right now. And I know that restaurants typically throw away some food at the end of the day. And I know that there's also the app Too Good To Go, where they pretty much sell the leftovers that restaurants have, which kind of sucks because like I don't have the money to actually pay for Too Good To Go. But I saw a buffet when I was walking the other day, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try out this buffet. I walked up to the buffet around 6:30, and I was like, hey, I'm curious what you guys do with the leftovers. And the lady at the desk was like, sometimes you have some person like throw out the trash or do a little bit of side work. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, you want me to ask the manager? I was like, yeah. So she got the manager. And the manager came up, and I started talking to the manager for a little bit, and she said, come back at 9:30.
I'll take out trash, I'll sweep, or whatever. 9:30?
That was 3 hours later. So I went back to my car, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm excited. And then I go back after 3 hours later to the buffet place, and it turns out that the lady just gave the food to somebody else. She didn't even care about me, and I was like, man, dude, the world is freaking rough. I was like, honestly, I was bawling, because like, dude, like, it's fucking crazy. Anyways, I was like, I need to really do something about this. And so I started walking back to my car, and then I saw Little Caesars across the street. While in the Little Caesars, I asked the coworkers, what do you guys do with the food? The lady said, we mark it up and we just keep it in the back. I was like, is there anything I could do to possibly get some of that food? Like any side work, I can sweep, I can help out, or anything? And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, fuck. What the hell is going on with this? Like, what do people do with the leftover food? Do you guys really just throw it away? Like, that's messed up. Anyways, I was losing hope at that moment. I was feeling very distraught. And I was just like, man, I really fucking hate it here. Anyways, I started walking back to my car, and then last ditch of hope, I saw an Applebee's. I think that's how you say it now. Anyways, I saw an Applebee's, and I was just like, I'll give this a shot. I walk in there, I'm in the lobby, I see that there's silverware and menus, and I was like, man, maybe I can offer 2 rolls from silverware or wipe down the menus. I used to serve in the past, so I'm like, I know this stuff, I'm used to it. And they're about to close. So I asked for the manager, I talked to the manager, and she's like, let me go see if I have any leftovers. I was like, okay, sweet. She comes back with 6 chicken tendies and some fries with some ranch, and she said, I didn't even have to do any side work. I was so blessed. I was so happy. I was so thankful. I was so grateful. Like, it gave me some faith in humanity that something good could possibly happen. Now, as for today, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, so I guess stick along, stay around for the journey. I didn't think I was gonna actually even post any of this stuff, because it's just like, why would somebody post them being in a miserable situation? I don't fucking know. Do you guys find value in this? So the moral of the story is, if you get rejected, just respect it and move on. That place or person, situation was just not meant for you, and you were just off onto something better. That is the one for you. If you'd like to support this crazy journey, go check out the button.
If you guys are wondering why I started living in my car, when I was really young, I started going through some foster homes. I was taken out of my biological home for some very bad abuse. And I went through several foster homes over and over and over again. And each one of them, I never had my own permanent place to live. And so when I finally did get my own apartment, 2020 hit, and I could no longer afford living there. Living in New Jersey, I have such a high rate for apartments to live. A $2,000 apartment is just fit for a studio, and minimum wage is $15. It's not livable. So I just decided that living in my car was the best way to go.
I'm Zeta Desire, and I want to thank you, Patrick, for having me on New Jersey Outdoors Adventures. I want to show you guys how I live in my car from day to day. So the first thing I want to show you guys is how I get in my car and I start my day. So at first, when I'm up and ready, I want to do my makeup and brush my teeth. So for my makeup, I grab this mirror out the side of the door, and I just stick it right in here. If I need extra light, I also have a light right here that I can just turn around and use. And then for my makeup, I have a little makeup bag I got for $1 from Goodwill that I could just sit down and put on my makeup. To brush my teeth, I always try to keep it simple. I keep everything in this middle drawer, and I keep my mouthwash on the side. I keep my toothbrush in here, and I use it, and I have my water that I rinse my toothbrush off with. Stick it back in when I'm done, and tuck it away. So this is probably what you guys are wondering. I have a cat in the car with me. How do I take care of my cat in such a small car? I have a litter box, I have some Smell Good baking soda, and as you all know what this is, the toilet. So when I pull up to a car wash,
Before the 80s, this little farming community had a population of under 500 people. And yeah, people began trickling in from the city to build their dream homes there. But it was still a small community. At least it was a community. That was until a billionaire named Les Wexner moved in. Working with Jeffrey Epstein, he had a plan that none of the residents were aware of. A plan that would cause street after street of people's homes to go abandoned. Some had just moved in when they got a knock on the door. It was quick. It caught people off guard. In just a couple of years, his plan to erase the entire rural community was a success. He started out small and had to do things slowly, get certain people out first. But then, the last 3 years, the change was unimaginable. Even 3 years ago, New Albany is completely unrecognizable from what it once was. Most of this change happened all at once in 2022. And looking closer, the pure shock of this destruction becomes apparent. They indiscriminately took every plot of land. Whatever was next, they took too. Up until 2022, you can see new homes were still being built. It was no matter. All families had to vacate. Before we get to today, how was one man able to do all of this? This is Les Wexner, Ohio billionaire and owner of companies such as Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Bath & Body Works. At the beginning of the 90s, he moved into his newly built mega mansion in rural New Albany, along with many other families, creating a new life for themselves in a rural landscape. Only he didn't want them there. In fact, he bought up all the smaller homes bordering his house and demolished them. Well, actually, it more bordered Epstein's house. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein. This is the house where you've heard about certain things happening on the news. It was known as the guest house of the Wexner property. Wexner and Epstein both had a secret plan and a window view of what was to come. Wexner created the New Albany Company. From my understanding, the company, along with other ambiguous LLCs, would buy up an entire block of family farms and then sell it to a corporation for an even bigger profit. Epstein was soon granted power of attorney, as well as president of New Albany Co., and he began to break ground. In the 2000s, the New Albany Business Park was created. The anchor was Abercrombie & Fitch. In the mid-2000s, plans were moving forward again. A highway was proposed. Dozens of homes were bulldozed, when suddenly Epstein left New Albany Company in 2007. He was caught a couple months later, in 2008, for prostitution. Wexner took on the project on his own and completed a second industrial park at the newly built highway. This one was more successful than the last, and it would bring in the perfect storm for him to unveil his ultimate plan. It was now the late 2010s, and whether Mr. Wexner knew it or not, he was sitting on one of the biggest investment opportunities in Ohio's history. He had more than a foot in the door. He had 2 business parks already built, and the city was allowing him to do whatever he wanted, so he kept buying up homes and let them sit. Online shopping was booming, and the warehouses did not stop. At the same time, data centers, usually even larger than warehouses, rose to popularity. And by then, there was no stopping the complete erasure of rural New Albany. Facebook built a data center, Google built data centers, even Microsoft was about to hop on. But the biggest of them all was coming. And after 2022, the expansion I saw would be bigger than anything I had ever seen in my entire life.
If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land. That's where Intel, the American company that helped build Silicon Valley, is going to build a $20 billion semiconductor megasite.
It was only 2022 when the news finally picked up on what was happening to people here over the past couple years. And for them, it was not empty acres of land as described by former President Joe Biden. It wasn't just Intel, a chip manufacturing facility. In all different directions, New Albany Company was buying up homes every single day. Even today, it feels like there's no end in sight, but many of the families who were vocal about the opposition have been bought out. Today, the stark contrast between rural and industrial is obvious, but only a few years ago, nobody knew they would have to abandon their homes. Nobody has been forced to sell, But having a towering industrial park on all sides of your house when you've moved out here for country views a couple years ago is not the better option here. In today's episode, we'll be showing you the abandoned homes of New Albany and what it's like to live through all of this. My first stop was going to the street bordering a data center. There sat a very grand mansion with a guest house and a pond. Unbeknownst to me, the satellite images on my phone were outdated and the homes were demolished over a year ago for the Microsoft Corporation. The day I arrived, however, it appears Microsoft has backed out. Maybe the land will be sold to someone else. Bordering that was a neighborhood of mansions, with the last one being built in 2018. It is not in New Albany's plans, and the neighbors I spoke to don't think it'll happen to them. But from what I've seen, it's very possible. Of course, I'd have no way of knowing it's happening besides flying out here again. So if any locals would like to keep me informed, my information is below. The next spot I had predicted would go abandoned was this huge square of homes. Many of these were vacated 2 weeks ago. I'd come at the perfect time. As you can see just how quickly they demolished these houses. Across from that is a neighborhood of 36 large homes. I think about 3 have been purchased by New Albany, but they're all rented out. With time, this entire neighborhood may go too. I wonder when. Not even the people living here know when things will happen, but when it does, they'll be out in about 3 months.
So guys, I just got here and I just talked to one of the guys there. So these people, there's like 3 houses down here. People still live here. It's truly unbelievable. How do you get to your house when the road is being expanded like that? One of those guys was telling me, either you have the choice, you sell or they'll build around you. I just saw this guy pull into his house. I mean, it's unbelievable how fast this is going. Unbelievable. Apparently there's a whole row of abandoned houses down there. We'll check it out. But I'm just shocked. People have to drive through this to get to work every day. They have to live through this. And they got no choice. They either sell or they just build around you. And then your property is worthless. Crazy stuff. I'm excited to see what else we can find though. He said the houses down there are multi-millions.
All right, so on this street that we were just on, there is one abandoned house. And as you can see, this is a beautiful house with a lot of land around it. I mean, this is paradise here in my opinion. And this house with the grass still mowed and everything, all the siding is probably updated inside. It's just completely abandoned. The trees are cut and it's about to be demolished. And in fact, there were many houses here that have already been destroyed. There's all these power lines here, and they've just wiped out a couple houses to kind of move these power lines here because the power grid is going to have a huge load right here. And yeah, let's go check this house out, and it'll be one of many, I think, that we'll find out here.
So if not for me, you wouldn't even be able to tell that this home was like abandoned until you see the cut down kind of trees around here. It's really crazy. Like, look at this. The grass is so nice here still. But yeah, there's no way someone's living here. Look at that 3-car garage. Must have been a 1980s built home. You can see my friend there, how tall it actually is. Hold on. There'll be something else open. This deck too. But yeah, there's been stuff salvaged here, it looks like.
Certified construction worker.
That really makes it look official. What? Hold on, get out of there. There's someone back there. Yeah. Who would that be? That's probably one of the guys working on the farm there. Cool. Wow. Well, so here we are. This perfectly nice house is abandoned. Really nice house. Oh my gosh. Fireplace and everything. Now this is gonna be probably empty. They've attempted to salvage stuff, but at the least that's good. The paint is all new. It's not like decaying or anything. I mean, this must have been abandoned very recently. Oh my gosh, this house is really cool actually. It's a lot bigger inside than you would normally think. Yeah, it looks like they tried to take this out and they failed. Let's see what other features this has got. Do a quick little walkthrough. But yeah, this must have been an 80s house. I don't even know if the power's working or not. Quick little tour here. Let's see the garage. Dang. Oh yeah, the power's still working.
The garage is like a third of the house.
Yeah. We even got like stairs going up to like a little guest portion or something. Anyways, I'll see you guys upstairs. Holy cow, this is nice. That's so crazy. See, the power's working. Oh, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Here's the bathroom. I mean, it's, you know, fun to go to these places and stuff, but you gotta think of the family that used to live here. They just had to get rid of everything, throw their whole lives away for these corporations. And they just had to get up and move. This was everything that they had. What a beautiful house. So these were probably the bedrooms. I really love this house. Here's another part of the house with really nice bathroom. It's crazy just to imagine these new materials. It's all going. Dude, let's check out the basement real quick. Power's still on, the sump pump is working, but this is the only item left. It's a really nice house.
Anyways, guys, I don't know what we're gonna expect, how many houses we're actually gonna find here, but this was just the first one we just saw on a random street, which can tell you just how frequently this is happening. So let's go check out some more streets and see what else we can find.
Alright guys, we made it into this property. I cannot believe my eyes. This whole street of mansions is just abandoned. I cannot believe this. Look at this. This is the size of a huge house. It's their garage. Okay, wait till we see this part, okay? So here's the house. I just am in shock at the pure size of this house and the fact that it's abandoned, how nice it is. Okay, so this stuff is getting salvaged, it looks like, which is good. You know, they're saving some of this stuff. This was the kitchen. All these materials are so nice. I mean, this whole house is like modern. I cannot believe what I'm looking at right now. And there's like a whole street of these. Anyways, I mean, we'll just get into this here. Oh my gosh. Guys, check out this bathroom. Do we turn the lights on? They did not turn on. Whoa, and dude, there was a huge jacuzzi there or something.
Oh, it looks like they sold it.
Yeah. This is unbelievable. This is a true mansion, guys, and the pool over there is huge too. Wow. But anyways, there's more to this house. I mean, so much more. There's an upstairs, a downstairs. So here's like the main part I was really excited about. I just saw this. Look at this chimney, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, and it overlooks too. How is this real? Just sitting like this, about to be demolished. Guys, the true scale of this house, the size of this one room, I can't even like show you guys. I have like a wide angle on my phone, but not my camera. But this room is like towering. Look at my buddy up there. It doesn't do it justice, I guess, but
It's a big room. Someone just pulled up. Don't be seen, bro. We gotta hide. I don't know. So guys, I saw they had an ATV, so I think they're just gonna be outside. But I think, I don't think they're gonna be in here. Okay, you think? I think I'm gonna catch them. I'll talk to them. But I'm sure I, sure I guess I'm gonna control you guys inside of What? I think we're good, dude. They just dropped off the ATV. Yeah. Well, anyways, let's continue checking out this place. So look, this is the top. Incredible. Let's make sure they left for good, though. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this house is insane. Guys, those people who were gone, they're just dropping off their ATV. But I just wanted to show you guys this house. I'm doing this for preservation reasons only. This land's gonna be gone forever. This is like historical purposes, if that makes sense. Even if it's a modern house like this, somebody's gonna wanna know it existed. Maybe even the family that used to live here. So that's why I'm doing this. We're not trying to cause trouble or anything. But, okay, check this out, yo. This place is insane. I mean, this house just keeps going. Even like that it's stripped, it's still really cool. What's up?
This place. That's scaring me. I thought they were gonna come in.
Yeah, same.
We came out of a car parked in the garage, so if they came in, we would have been screwed.
Anyways, yeah, guys, so there's like still so many rooms to check out here. I know it's like empty, so we'll be kind of quick with it, but this bathroom ain't that much. It's kind of crazy though. I mean, this is just all modern stuff. Built for literally nothing because they're gonna tear this house down. There's like this part right here. Wow, this would have been cool. There must have been a TV there. Wait, yeah, there's like this third floor we also hit at, but I didn't see this room. That's just an empty room. Still cool. I mean, this is like 3-4 floors. It's even like kind of vacuumed.
4-story house.
Yeah, gonna be demolished. That's for the skylight, so you can make it dark in here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, this goes above the garage. There's even more. Whoa, what the heck? Oh my gosh, dude, look at this bathroom.
I think this was another master bedroom right here.
Yeah, I think so.
Just like a living area, but...
Yeah.
So this was their shower. That was their toilet. And then... I think...
Oh, that's it? There's another part though above the garage. So guys, there's also this basement. I'm curious on the condition of it. Got nothing. That's pretty small. So look at that, they just dropped off that. We're gonna go walk up to that home, I think. Check it out. But there's like a guest house. Maybe we could even get in there, I don't know. But yeah, this is a house and then that's a house. They're both like garages too. I don't know, maybe they rented this out. I mean, this property's unbelievable, truly. They even have this pool here. Truly insane. So here's one of the machines here, guys. This was used to cut down the trees or kind of carry them, I guess. It's probably another machine to cut them down. But here's like the guest house and garage. I don't know which is which. And then there's a second property there, just completely abandoned.
Dude, you got a tennis court and a whole basketball thing over there?
Yeah. It's really nice in here. We've actually found a way into the huge garage or guest house.
Dude, I think this is a dog shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a breed dogs here.
Really?
Look at that, it says Premier Clubs.
Oh. Wow.
Whoa.
Some equipment. Mold control. Ah, yeah. Yeah, so they were breeding dogs here. Something like that. I wonder how long this has been sitting abandoned. Wow. So we're upstairs now. This was definitely like a place to live. This is so nice. This is what's left of the previous owners. Literally food. But yeah, that's about it here. What they got back here? Looks like they built their own little bicycle. Yeah, no, that's vintage. They crashed it or something though. Or they just left it back here. On to the next home. This one looks equally as cool. I know it's smaller, but still a really large house. Look at how old some of these trees are, guys. This land has literally been undisturbed forever. And here it is now, just being wasted. It's crazy to me, these houses are so nice. Just nothing's wrong with them. Okay, let's go around the back. Wow. Here's like the tennis court. Man, this was a nice property. It's so like post-apocalyptic. All the trees are just cut. Wow. Oh yeah, that's a nice pool right there. Dang. Oh, and then there's that house in the background that we explored. Wow, they're taking all this land. Look at this, they had a gas fireplace, stainless steel grill, another pretty big garage. So guys, we've gotten into this house. Wow. It's a lot taller than I thought it would be. This one's still got power, even heating, I think. I mean, this house is so nice inside, guys. Look at that. Oh, wow, this is the fridge. Wow, guys, so this is the fridge. It's a Sub-Zero, I think. It's huge. Look at the size of that. My gosh. So this is a really nice kitchen and everything. All kind of new construction here, as you can see. Pretty wild. Actually, right outside the pool, there's some pretty cool bathrooms. And this was a bedroom, I think. We got like this really cool mirror and a side like setup. Wow. I think the lights turn on. Oh yeah, they do. So some of the lights don't work and some of them do. This basement is really fancy. Holy cow. Really nice in here. Oh my gosh, they had their own like bar, kind of library with a fireplace underground. There's a TV here. Incredible home. What the heck? Oh my gosh, this was a fitness room, guys. Whoa. I thought this was a sauna here. I don't think so, though. Dang, dude. This is sick. All right, folks, we're gonna go upstairs. Really fancy railings. Gosh, this is really nice. The ceiling is so tall. See how long this has actually been sitting. I know it's a newer build, so it's probably more preserved, but there have been like a lot of bugs that have gotten in here. Just so you know, it's like been vacant or at least abandoned. But if you'd like to see the upstairs, here it is. Quite shocking that this home is just done. Oh, look at that. Actually, it's probably, yep. Turns on. Wow. Nice bathroom. Look at that. That's what that's made of. So guys, we just went to these two houses. There is like a ranch house there or something. Looks pretty nice, but it's hard to tell if that's abandoned or not. Sometimes they'll have leases or whatever, so like the owner will stay there even though the corporation owns it. That one looks a little too nice in my opinion, but hard to tell. We're just gonna walk through the woods, go to those other mansions over here. So we're coming up on these three houses next. This one, power's cut off already. It's probably gonna be the soonest demolished. I mean, they got a fence around it and everything. Came at just the right time. I actually figured this would be, all these homes would be gone by now. So this house looks like it's a little older than the rest. You got this garage here. This must have been put here around, I don't know, early 80s, maybe even sooner or earlier. But we got this cool hot tub here.
This light bulb was placed here.
Huh. I don't know. Oh yeah, see that.
Let me see the inside.
Oh wow. That's a nice hot tub still. It's been kind of protected. Well, alright. We will head inside here. It's actually been boarded up a little bit, which means this has been sitting longer, abandoned. But still pretty nice in here. I mean, wow. There's that fireplace. Even like, I didn't think this would be too impressive inside, but it's still really nice. I guess there's like a lot of wealthy people around here. Makes sense. It's like kind of the off-grid area outside of the city.
I hate this stupid cringy sign.
Oh, these. Yeah. Yeah, I see these in a lot of these modern houses for some reason. Appears there's like a couple more things left in here. And we got the 3-car garage, huh? This one's definitely got some stuff left behind. Clothing. Like a sweatshirt. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was. But we're in the corner here. Some of the things they had that they just left. Not much, to be honest. Yeah, nothing in there. So, here's like the stairs going up. Pretty cool. The front door is completely gone. It must have been a 70s house. I think my old house had that. So I was thinking 70s. But yeah, let's go up here. Bathrooms are nice. This home must have been updated around the 80s, even 90s, some of these bathrooms.
Thank you,
Got these light bulbs here.
Belinda. Hey, y'all. Hey,
Did you really?
Golf man. Welcome to the family.
Oh, yuck. What the heck? Must have been placed here recently. I don't know. That's weird. I've actually never seen one of those.
You miss. You ain't
getting that out. So there's a basement here. Since the power's cut off, the sump pump doesn't work. It's just started to mold. Smells like very early mold. But there's the basement. There's actually some stuff back there, but not much else to see really. So now we're gonna head up here. There's a house there, and then there's another one there with a pool. Dang, it's actually pretty impressive. This one that we just explored. Dang, dude, this is a nice property right here. Wow. It's hard to tell it's even abandoned. Well, you see the trees cut. Dang. Dang, dude, so this is like a little guest house or something. Definitely modern built. It's like no chipping on the paint or anything. I mean, this thing must have come up recently. You get that. Man, that is so cool. It's crazy, this property is just gonna be gone. This is somebody's dream. They dug this out probably. Such a new house. Here's the kitchen. Pretty stripped out. This is quite the cozy house though. Little McMansion or something. The alarm panel's working. But this is in the middle of being gutted. These look a lot bigger than they actually are. Here's the bathroom. Pretty nice in there. You got this little walkway. Very small, to be honest, compared to the other things I've seen. What do we got over here? Little bathroom. Totally kind of gutted out. It's crazy though, this modern stuff. The heating's on. I guess for the workers. Still keep the heating on in here. Kind of over the garage here, we got this room too. But kind of an non-special house, I guess. There's this basement, not flooded. We'll check out really quick. It's not bad in here. Sump pump's still working and stuff, so not gonna get demolished right now, but very soon. I'd live in a house like this. You can get like a little bar. Still got some room to it. Dude, these areas have now kind of flooded, probably due to lack of proper rooting with all the trees getting cut up and the grass getting destroyed. Come to think of it, I don't know if this one's abandoned or not. The trees aren't cut here, and so with this one. I don't know if we should even knock. We've seen enough houses. Honestly, these homes are more than likely abandoned. I just don't want to bother. Yeah, they're empty, it seems. But we're already out now. I don't know. I don't like any risk usually. Unless it's high reward, like that one. I don't think they're in the house. Cars have parked up at the house, or our cars in the garage. Pretty creative way to not have your car seen, but now we gotta retrieve it. I doubt they're inside though. I think they're just driving the ATVs. All right, Bill.
We snuck up on the house while workers were literally on the side of it. In a daring, or maybe not so daring, maybe they didn't care, escape. We got out of there.
Alright, come out. Close the garage.
Strange to think this is the last ever time a car will be parked in this garage. Nearby Intel's new plant, I discovered another row of houses that were entirely bought out, but for a different reason. They were going to build mass apartments there. This was literally going to turn into one of those 15-minute cities that people sometimes mention. This was going from land where you could store things and let your kids play outside to small apartments where you can walk to work.
See inside, I don't know if it's empty or not. I don't really like to go up to these houses just in case someone's still got a lease there or something. Take a look at this one. No, this one's also owned by the Corp. But there you can see horses. This one guy would not sell. Maybe we could talk to him, see if he's home, huh? Yeah, so like the blinds are all closed on these. I don't like the idea of just going up to a house if I can't even tell what's inside, but these two are purchased by this corporation here. And that shed there too. These must have been purchased quite recently because the grass and everything's nice. Does look trashed though a little bit. I don't know. Nothing too impressive in here. Each home though is somebody's life, you know. I hate to skip past it. I want to show, you know, if someone lived here, I want to show them their house. So this house right here, as you can see, is being used as like a temporary little headquarters, it looks like. It's hard to tell, but all of these houses are all purchased by another corporation. It's actually like the corporation that owns pretty much most of these homes here, like just all around. So these are abandoned. There's one there that isn't, that refused to sell, but the rest here are purchased, and on this side of the road and further up. So I just spoke to the guy over there. These all sold on property records. This one didn't sell, but he didn't want to be in camera. He sold too. Everybody's out of here. They're gonna build a shopping center and apartments for all the workers here, I guess. These two have been abandoned for over a year, he told me. Just another one I saw on the side of the road there. But looks like it's been abandoned for quite a while. Now, only a couple of these have been bought by like a mysterious LLC here. But this one is been purchased. And I better get out of here, but the rest of the land here is pretty much bought out besides this kind of side here.
The truth is, there was way more homes purchased than I had initially thought. I was overwhelmed at my findings. I was only here for a couple hours, and I didn't have much time to truly see just how many homes had been abandoned or purchased. Nearby the Wexler estate, I had discovered more homes that were purchased. It was the only street between Wexler himself and these mega structures. Most of the homes here were still rented out by him, but I found one farm that was long abandoned.
But here's a house here. There might actually be some things on this property too. It's like weird, there's like a couple things left behind. But this is kind of like the little, I don't know, the one part. They got a hot tub there as well. Must have been abandoned for the last like 34 years. Huh? Yeah, something like that. Can we open this? Oh, we can't. So yeah, you can see this has been sitting for a little while. There's like something left here. Clan Stewart, whatever that is. But I don't know, just kind of destroyed rooms. Like really decayed. Man, this house is like it's not your typical farmhouse. Must have came up around the 60s or the 70s. Probably like 60s maybe. But we got this big room right here. It's actually got a piano left behind. Guess it might have been an addition. I'm unsure. But yeah, we got this big old piano. Actually, look at that. Oh, that thing's old. Even got some firewood here. This property was pretty cool. Well, let's go upstairs, see what we can find. So this like bathroom with a carpet floor. That's kind of the upstairs. 2 rooms. Probably nothing in them. There's like an old name.
I just found something terrifying near Jeffrey Epstein's ranch.
Dude, please tell me it's an animal.
And it only gets worse from here because what I end up finding gets so dark that I had to report it to the police.
911, what's your emergency?
I found a bag of bones.
What's the location?
It's I am currently near Jeffrey Epstein's ranch, which has an extremely disturbing past.
Epstein brought young women here. There are even suggestions of bodies buried at the ranch.
For some reason, there was never a full investigation done on this ranch. I believe that they're hiding something, and I'm not going to stop until I get to the bottom of it. And as we pulled in near the property, we saw something very strange. Is this trespassing? At first, it all looked like garbage. That's until I started to figure out that we were about to find something that we're not supposed to find.
Could this be tile from the ranch itself?
It turns out that these tiles are from inside of the ranch. And these photos that you're looking at are from the Epstein files. But why are they here?
But no way they would just throw it here. How did it end up here?
But then I remembered that in 2019, a report came out saying a worker inside of the ranch saw people burying things in the ground. He didn't know what was inside, but once the holes were filled, they put rocks on top of them so no one would think to look.
They had rocks on top of them to make it like blend in almost. If you see any rocks that look out of place.
So I got a shovel and I started digging to see if I could find anything that could be hidden from us. But that's when my friend found this.
Kid's toy. Right here. It's like a little girl's toy. I don't know how a kid toy got here. Wait, what if they knew that they were about to get raided? They threw all this stuff on the side. Now they can't really technically say that this was on the property.
Things only got worse from here.
Kid's toy.
Something wasn't adding up. At first, all of this looked like garbage, but now I'm not so sure. And just when we thought that it couldn't get any worse,
There's a really weird smell around here. Hell no. Oh, hell no. That's an animal, right? That's gotta be an animal. I hope. Me, bro. I think it's an animal. Dude, please tell me it's an animal. That's gotta be an animal.
we found a dead animal. I hope.
Why in a bag? Someone put that animal in the bag.
Okay, time out. I think all of this is connected. Because I did some research online and I found this.
Radio host Eddie Aragon received this tip from someone who claimed to have worked on the ranch, telling him bodies were buried in the hills outside the Zorro.
I sent it to the FBI. Nothing was done.
He never heard anything from authorities.
Now these bones, they look like animal bones, but I'm also a complete idiot. So I reached out to an expert so I can get a second opinion on this. I'm calling it forensics anthropology. I don't even know how to say it.
I'm a paleontologist for History Channel on Pawn Stars.
And then this is the thing that we found.
Bro, you need to call the police.
So what we found is an animal's carcass, right? We found tiles that looked like they belonged to the ranch. And then we found a bunch of kid toys.
Look, I wanted to do the right thing here and just call the police, but they have also been the ones that have refused to search this ranch.
Federal investigators determined they had no probable cause to search the ranch.
So finding all of this isn't just luck. It means that they left these things behind. So I can't call the cops now, because if I do, they will stop me from investigating this ranch. And there's a reason why I do these investigations in the first place. Whether it's this place or when I investigated Scientology, we've always been told to trust the qualified people. The FBI, the police. Am I qualified? Oh no. But I'm here, and they're not.
I'm like scared to keep going. Let's keep going though.
Down there, you see? Those are males.
That's male. We gotta check whose male that is, which is right next to the dead cat. I see male, but who is it to? The address has been peeled off. The address has been peeled off again.
What about right there, huh? I think that's an address right there in the box.
Where? It's been scratched off.
Can you make out any name?
6638.
Can you make out a name?
Okay, you're significantly smarter than I am, so I'm gonna need your help on this real quick. Baxter is a medical company, and then we found this other box that's actually an indoor pizza oven. The only correlation that I found was that if you go on the Epstein files, the word pizza is mentioned 908 times. This could maybe be nothing, but at this point, I don't believe that anything is a coincidence.
Just mail? Mail that's been peeled off? I've never been this scared in my entire life. I thought Scientology was kind of crazy. Nah, nothing compared to these motherfuckers. That sign? Look there straight ahead? Look straight ahead from the white one? Yeah. Wait, what? That's weird. So it's supposed to be a train? What the fuck is this? Wherever this is, we gotta try to find it. Let's go up.
I don't think a single thing that we have found so far is a coincidence. And as far as finding this, I don't think this is an accident. So whatever they're hiding inside of this red house, we're gonna find it. So right after this, we got in the car and started driving even closer to the ranch. And we sat down and thought of a plan.
So, this is the property. We're first going to start off here. Apparently there's a lot of stuff there that has been hidden. There's a chance that we can find something there. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna take off the drone, see if we can get any weird thermal signature. What about here? That's the next place. This is the final spot. Apparently there's some shit here that might be really... Let's go to spot number 1 first. Hopefully we don't die. I hope they don't deport me.
We ended up tracking down this abandoned house. It's allegedly connected to the ranch, because apparently there were wireless networks that were being set up here. But that's not the only reason why I came here. This abandoned house looks very similar to the poster that we found. Could this be the same house? And if so, what's inside?
I'm getting such a weird feeling. No joke, we gotta keep our eyes out. One of the places that looks really sus on the map is this one. It looks abandoned, almost as if a place that no one would think to look. So we're gonna try to see what we can find. You see something? I just saw cats, but I got scared. Yeah, get in there.
This place looked terrifying, straight out of a horror movie almost. And it's probably not the best idea to go inside.
Pussy. Stay there just in case.
What I found was a book that belonged to someone who was a Freemason. A Freemason is a member of the world's oldest organization. Other people, though, they describe that as a cult. Now, Jeffrey Epstein was not connected publicly to the Freemason organization. That being said, some people really believe that he was. It's also worth noting that the word Freemason does show up in the Epstein files 11 times.
We gotta go. We gotta go. Scary. It is. I've never been this scared in my entire life. I just have this like really weird, eerie feeling that something's gonna go wrong. Edwin's just out here getting the cat.
Meet me on Cloud 9. There are a lot of ways to describe a Raising Cane's chicken finger combo. Delicious, mouth-watering, craveable, and now sparkly. Introducing the limited edition Sparkly Mega Maroney Cloud 9 Cup. Add one to your combo and meet me on Cloud 9. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Thirsty for more? Rhinestone tumblers are also available, but not for long. Grab one at raisingcanesgear.com while supplies last.
After leaving spot number 1, something became really clear to me. I don't think the house that I went inside of is the house from the poster. But before leaving, I did find a bunch of documents that were almost hidden. And this is important because Epstein, every time he was about to get caught, would make sure that he would get rid of all evidence.
Epstein went to greater lengths than previously known to conceal potential evidence of his crimes.
It's just incredibly frustrating because if we had had this information 10 years ago, we could have spared a lot of lives.
If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you subscribe because there's going to be more investigations just like this that will be posted very soon. And there are things in this video that I cannot post on YouTube. And if you're interested in watching the raw, full version of this video, check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much. I didn't find any documents that related to Epstein here, but I was getting this feeling that we were getting closer to finding the truth. And that's when we decided to go to spot number 2. The second spot was really creepy, and I'm going to need you to read between the lines here, because when I got there, I ended up getting lost, and I saw no trespassing signs, none whatsoever. And the craziest thing happened, I ended up tripping over this fence. Anyways, while I was inside of this ranch, we found something odd.
Look at the bowling balls. A lot of them too. And that's not the worst of it. We're looking for anything out of the ordinary. Quite opposite of whatever Alex Warren's doing. The biggest things right now that we see is obviously bowling balls and whatever this is. There's rope attached to it. That's something like a metal wire. Yeah. It's also that propane tank, that bucket. I think that's a fridge. Let's see what's inside that refrigerator. This place, bro. We kept finding really weird things inside of this ranch, but no sign of the red house. And we couldn't just keep walking around, we were getting exhausted. We needed something that would be able to cover ground way faster. And that's when I brought out... We're getting this. It's big. Long. In my hands, right here, I have a $3,000 drone that I bought. And make no mistake, I am planning on returning if they don't shoot it down. This drone also has thermal vision, which is going to give us an opportunity to find things that a normal drone can't find. I'm terrified. We're also looking directly at the ranch. Oh, you know what? We should pray. That's what we should do. We should pray. Dear Lord, please protect us from the evil spirits, the evil people. I'm gonna take off this drone. Please let it not crash, and hopefully we can find something that helps us prove that there's some bad stuff going on at that ranch. So it's over there. I'm so scared. It's saying that there's a magnetic interference. It seems like my drone was blocked off. My guess is that they had some sort of drone jammer, and the closer I got, the less control I had of the drone. And I really hope it doesn't fall down, because again, I'm trying to return this thing. It's really expensive. It's saying that as you get closer? Yeah. That's really weird.
I was trying so hard to find this red house and where it could be in the ranch, but then I saw this.
When I did the thermal thing, I see something in the sky. It's a plane. You see that? What is that?
It's the sun.
Okay, shit.
I would have known if I read the instructions before taking it off, but I didn't.
Dude, I don't know what the f I'm supposed to look for in this.
I'm an idiot. Anyways, we had some bigger problems.
There's 2 cops coming.
Looks like the cops are onto us. I'm not worried, because I got a plan.